I'm Connor Taylor, and coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'll tell you how the Hall finally called Bob Huggins.
I'm Rachel Davis, and coming up on Mountaineer Playbook, I'll tell you about the newest addition to WVU Sports.
And welcome into Mountaineer Playbook. Over the next 15 minutes or so, we'll get you caught up to date with what's going on across the wide world of Mountaineer sports. I'm Luke Wiggs, and to my right is the Kurt Rambis of Trinity High School Athletics, Daniel Woods.
I'll get you for that. After years of work, endless pleas from Mountaineer fans, and almost as many comments from announcers as there were about Deuce McBride playing quarterback in high school, WVU men's basketball coach Bob Huggins has finally been inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame. Connor Taylor took a look inside the journey that has brought him this far.
After a long wait, Bob Huggins has been officially inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Huggins has been coaching in the collegiate ranks for 45 years, including the last 15 as the head coach at West Virginia University. Huggins is the fourth winningest coach of all time and is only one of two coaches to win 300-plus games at two different schools. Over the course of his career, Huggins has led his team to 25 NCAA tournament berths, including 9 appearances in the Sweet 16, 4 trips to the Elite 8, and 2 appearances in the Final Four. Nationally, he won the Sporting News National Coach of the Year in 2000 and the ESPN.com National Coach of the Year in 2002. In a recent interview, Huggins discussed the path to joining the Hall and how it means more than basketball.
First of all, it's a lot of work, but I think it's doing things the right way. Caring about people, working with your guys, continuing those being your guys long after their eligibility's over with, and just trying to be a father figure for a lot of guys who weren't fortunate enough to have a father. There's a lot of things that just it's way bigger than basketball.
The class of 2022 will be enshrined during festivities in Springfield, Massachusetts on September 9th through 10th. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Connor Taylor.
In the words of the man himself, how about that? Well, we all know there's one thing that Bob Huggins wants more than anything before he hangs it up. That's a national championship. I do think that a Hall of Fame honor should be enough to keep the man happy, at least until the first missed shot of next season.
Happy is certainly the word that comes to mind when I think of Bob Huggins. But in stark contrast to the long tenure that Bob Huggins has had, a new coach has emerged to take the reins of the West Virginia women's basketball program. Rachel Davis has the details on who'll be patrolling the sidelines for the Gold and Blue next year.
Thanks, guys. I'm here at the WVU Coliseum, where just 2 weeks ago, Mike Carey announced his retirement after 21 seasons here with the Mountaineers. While many thought the search to fill the shoes of his legacy would be a lengthy process, the Mountaineers may have just found someone with the same size. While many West Virginia natives hoped to stay inside the Mountaineer boundaries when searching for a new head coach, the prospect list ranged both far and wide with potential candidates for next season. On March 31st, they landed on Dawn Plitzowite to serve as the school's 6th women's basketball head coach. Plitzowite started her coaching career back in 1995 at her alma mater, Michigan Tech, as an assistant coach under Kevin Borseth until 1997 when she took a position at Green Bay. Plitzowite received her first head coaching position in 2002 at Grand Valley State University, where she led the Lakers to a 117-38 record in just 5 seasons. In 2016, she brought Grand Valley to their first NCAA Division II National Championship and was later on named the NCAA Division II National Coach of the Year. Dawn Plitzowite now comes to Morgantown, West Virginia after serving 6 seasons as the head coach in Vermillion, South Dakota, where she ended with a record of 158 wins and 36 losses, including 83 wins and 10 losses in the Summit League this year. This 3-time Summit League Coach of the Year led the South Dakota Coyotes to 3 regular season championships, 3 conference tournament championships, 4 NCAA tournament appearances, and a berth in the 2022 NCAA Sweet 16. Her time at South Dakota has shown nothing but success while holding the Summit League records of overall winning percentage of .814 and a conference winning percentage of .892. She was also the fastest Summit League coach to reach 100 wins, doing so in her first 124 games. Athletic Director Shane Lyons cannot wait for Plitzuit to start leading the Mountaineer program into its next chapter and feels that Mountaineer fans will be highly impressed with what she has to offer on and off the court here in West Virginia. Plitzuit will meet with WVU Media to have her first press conference as a Mountaineer this week. I'm Rachel Davis reporting for Mountaineer Playbook.
Quick, Daniel, spell Plitzuit.
You didn't think I'd be prepared for this. Plitzuweit, Plitzuit. If you're going to come at the 2013 Monongalia County Spelling Bee champion, you had better come with a challenge.
You know, that's a Mickey Mouse title if you ask me.
You've got to be joking. Look, if you did your homework, you would know that in the greater Morgantown spelling community, I'm what's known as the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Speaking of the best, we've got the best play in Mountaineer sports this week, as Nicole Harrisek is here with the latest edition of the Mountaineer Playbook Play of the Week. Nicole?
Thank you, guys, and welcome back to the last Mountaineer Play of the Week segment, where we highlight the best moments in WVU sports. On last week's episode, we highlighted Austin Davis's walk-off single in the 9th inning. The baseball team caught our eye this week as they stole home base at their first Big 12 conference matchup. TCU pitch. Ben Abernathy steals home to tie the game. The pitch was overthrown to the plate. Coming from second base, Braden Berry completes the double steal as he slides into home. That incredible play gave the Mountaineers a 3-2 lead in the top of the 9th inning. In the bottom of the 9th inning, redshirt pitcher Noah Short slammed the doors on TCU, striking out the last batter to end the game. The Mountaineers went on to claim 2 out of the 3 against the 12th-ranked TCU and are currently 16-10 in their season. Their next home game will be today at 3 against Marshall. You don't want to miss the Maisie Ball action. That's it for the Mountaineer Play of the Week segment. For now, we'll send it back to Daniel and Luke. Guys?
Now that's a perfect example of Maisie Ball. WVU wins a series in Fort Worth for the first time in program history. This team is remarkably fun to watch. You blink, you might miss something, and I'm telling you, the comparisons with the 1982 world champion St. Louis Cardinals are real.
Now, Luke, before you start yelling at me about Joaquin Andahar, I am going to have to say that if we're talking world champions, I'm going to have to look at a bunch of guys that played at Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh back in 1979. Some have called them a family. But we could do this and go back and forth about our favorite champions all day. But what we really should do is give ourselves, and more importantly, the folks at home, a break. There's plenty more coming up right after this.
The WVU competitive cheer team is competing at Nationals for the first time in 2 years. I'm Sophia Pisano, and straight ahead on Mountaineer Playbook, I'll introduce you to our next athlete of the week who's been waiting for this opportunity.
They say the grass is greener on the other side. For Max Green, that certainly holds true, as he became the 3rd winner in WVU golf history. More coming up soon on Mountaineer Playbook.
Mom, I got in.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Playbook. There's much more on the way when it comes to the best stories in WVU sports. Now it's time for the Mountaineer Playbook Player of the Week. And with cheerleading taking center stage this week, I'll turn it over to the man with the best twisting back handspring in Morgantown, Luke Wiggs.
Well, Daniel, as the son of the greatest cheerleader in the history of West Preston High School, shout out Laura Wiggs, by the way, I would be remiss if we didn't give West Virginia's competitive cheer squad their due coverage. Now for the Player of the Week with Sophia Pisano. Sophia.
Thanks, Luke. Daniel, cheerleading teams often spend their time on the sidelines of other sports, but one squad at WVU is about to take center stage. I spent some time with the WVU competitive cheerleading team as they prepared to compete at NCAA Nationals this weekend. Our next athlete of the week is cheerleader Hannah Lehman. She is the only veteran competing this year, and she's leading her team by example. The West Virginia University competitive cheerleading team is competing at the NCAA Collegiate National Championship for the first time in 2 years. Because of COVID-19, the team was restricted from traveling down to Daytona, Florida in 2020 and 2021. As a result, the squad has only one team member who has competed at nationals before, and she is our player of the week.
It is kind of, my position to make sure the athletes are ready because they don't necessarily know what to expect, and they, like you've said, they've never been there. So I'm just really excited for all the girls to get that first-time experience.
Anna Lehman first joined the cheer team back in 2014, and she is currently completing a PhD in behavioral and social sciences.
The team competes in the intermediate Division 1A category against 19 other all-girl teams.
Hannah took home a silver medal as well as a fourth-place finish in her career with WVU, but she is hoping to bring home gold in her last year cheering. Her favorite part about being on the team is getting to meet new people from all over the country who share a similar passion for cheerleading. This is Hannah's last year of eligibility to cheer, and she plans to go out on top. The squad competed April 7th and 8th, and results can be found on my Twitter below. Daniel, Luke, back to you guys at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks, Sophia. Luke, given your bloodlines and how deep they run in the annals of Preston County cheerleading, I think this is your opportunity to show the competitive cheer team what you've got. This is your tryout. For myself and for the people at home, show us your backflip right now.
Now, Daniel, I may appear to the folks at home to be the picture of peak athleticism, but I don't necessarily think that's something in my wheelhouse. And I'm hearing from our producer, Sarah, we also don't have the insurance, so I'm going to have to pass.
That's a terrible tragedy. But if we have to move on from the mat to the green, this is a good one. It hasn't been long since the WVU golf program was restarted, but it's already produced several standout performers. Frank McConnell has more on a new face that's quickly taking the links by storm.
WVU golfer Max Green recently joined an elite fraternity, becoming only the third WVU golfer to win an event as an individual. Green's 5-under performance made the freshman co-champion of the East Carolina University Intercollegiate. The other two Mountaineers to win a tournament are his teammate Mark Getz, who is currently ranked number 21 in the country, and former Mountaineer Max Sear, who appeared in this year's Farmers Insurance Open on the PGA Tour. Joining Getz and Sear as one of the only 3 winners for WVU, Green is certainly in good company. But this shows signs that Green could become a Mountaineer great. As a junior golfer, it was clear that Green had the potential to be something special. He was the South Carolina Junior Golf Association Player of the Year, a 2-time All-State selection, and played 7 years of varsity high school golf at Hilton Head Christian Academy. Coach Sean Kovich was excited by his growth and cited how Green really executed on his game plan. In his first year in the Gold and Blue, Green is off to a great start with a tied for 15 finish, tying number 4 in the country Logan McAllister in the Big 12 match play event, but all of this will now be highlighted by his win in the ECU Intercollegiate. With Max Green in the lineup, the grass is certainly looking greener. For Mountaineer Playbook, I'm Frank McConnell.
Well, Luke, with a performance like that, Max Green may have a chance to earn himself a membership at the prestigious Bushwood Country Club. Let's just hope that when he envisions himself winning the Masters one day, that he stays out of the flowers.
It's in the hole. Well, Daniel, that's it. We're out of time for this one, but I'd like to remind our audience before we go, we've got a special 30-minute edition of Mountaineer Playbook coming up your way 2 weeks from now, and you don't want to miss it.
You mean to tell me that the people at home get to see the two of us for twice as long next time? I suggest that you wear your Sunday best, except for that hat. As a friend, that hat is terrible. We've got 2 weeks to make our wardrobe decisions, and for your sake, we'll get to those off the air. Thanks for tuning in to this week's edition of Mountaineer Playbook. We'll see you next time.